What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today when I talk to you about Ethereum Classic, I want to go over some of the data points, break it down, what is really moving it, and why it could potentially get much worse. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So ETC over the last 24 hours is down 5.19%. And there's a lot of big macro events that's starting to really unfold that's causing a lot of fear. So all, in my opinion, stemmed from Wednesday with Powell. So Powell really did pop the likelihood of a cut, and that would have really pushed the broader market higher. You can kind of even see as of kind of leading into the Wednesday, ETC was on that 10-day moving average, really ready to kind of move higher if Powell was going to come in fairly optimistic. But unfortunately, he kind of went polar opposite. Even Microsoft, their future guidance did spook the broader market. Now you have a lot of individuals talking about AI bubbles and things along those lines. And then potentially, as of today, we might be getting a government shutdown, even though looking back, it didn't really affect ETC all that much. Still, though, it's just a snowball effect of everything put together. That's why people's appetite for risk isn't really on the table. Luckily enough, though, we didn't get a flash crash similar to what happened on October the 9th that liquidated a ton of individuals. But we are, I don't know what's worse, I guess, having just pulling it off like a band-aid or slow and kind of going down. But nonetheless, just to go over some data points, this upcoming week could be a big week for ETC for recovery, or it could really magnify it. So we have a lot of big companies putting out their earnings, and as well, government shutdown. So I think there's a little bit of an understanding that we will get that kind of sorted within 1 week. But if it doesn't, then you will have a lot of Fed speakers really saying that it's going to affect GDP and so forth. Again, kind of spreading a little bit more additional fear. Since my last video, right now we have officially hit the 900 mark. So 900 merchants accept ETC as a form of payment. So that is definitely deserving of a round of applause. It's increasing. Unfortunately, it's not really incentivizing any new investors to get in. And even if we look right now at what is happening to just cryptocurrencies as a whole, everything for the most part is going down. So Bitcoin over the last 7 days down 6.9%, Ethereum, BNB, Ripple, and so forth, all going down. But the difference between Bitcoin, for instance, going down 6.9% and Ethereum Classic going down 11.28, and a lot of its peers, double digit, is utility. So this is something I've really complained about in the past, is that ETC hasn't really had that much in big updates to really incentivize growth on the ecosystem. So this is where I think ETC still does have a lot of good potential going forward, but it's somewhat dormant. So all in all, that's why it's kind of now ranked number 43 based on market cap. So it's really been going down. When I first started covering it, I think it was like 12, 13, eventually kind of hit the teens and then 20s and so forth. And then now we're here. So ETC, like I said, did have a lot of good potential, and now it just kind of fell by the wayside. At the time of doing this video, crypto fear and greed index is under the fear category, meaning people's appetite for risk is not on the table. And normally what does happen is similar to what happened in like April. When we did hit the extreme fear, we bounced to kind of greed. And that usually is kind of as well happening on the equity side as well. But when we hit the extreme fear, the low of 10 that was done on November 21st, 2025, we only made it to the neutral. So you can kind of tell that there is some uncertainty in the broader market that kind of held it back a little bit. So you never know. This could be potentially the tiding point where we really do start to really break down. Even looking at the liquidations, a lot of longs just getting out. As I've kind of brought up over the last couple of videos, you have these abnormal spikes of longs. So I think just a lot of swing traders are kind of just getting in and out of ETC, not really investing for the long term. Whereas with a lot of high utility cryptos such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so forth, those are getting the long investors. Or potentially if ETC is to ever get their, let's say, ETF, then that should stabilize this. but still, as of right now, ETC's pretty much at the mercy of the broader market. And as of right now, it did break below a key level. So in my last video, I kind of mentioned that we might see a nice recovery to around that 1230 range. It kind of did touch that, and then it just moved down to this 11, and unfortunately we recently did break below this 1050. So at the time doing this video, we are trading between this S2 and this S3. So 934 is that next strong support, and that would be a 52-week low for ETC. Flip side, 1050, if there is some good potential for this upcoming week, 1050 is going to be the next strong kind of target slash resistance. But as I've mentioned, I feel that people's appetite for risk isn't necessarily on the table, and for those investors wanting to get in, they're kind of sticking to the big names. They're not really investing in ETC right now. So 934 realistically might be that next strong point to watch for, and if that fails to hold, then 630. So ETC definitely has had a bumpy ride. I've been covering it for quite some time, since I think 2022 or late 2021, somewhere around there. And that was, yeah, they were in their glory stages. That's where everything and everyone was extremely hyped up. Just unfortunately, you can kind of see how high it just went up like crazy. And then since then, it just has fallen by the wayside. So way back in, prior to that in 2020, ETC was around $5. So we are pretty much erasing about 6 years worth of gains. So at the end of the day, those are some key levels to kind of watch for. It bouncing off of that 750 as well could be another good support level just to be aware of. But as of right now, I think ETC also does need to do kind of investors a favor and incentivize why people need to buy and hold ETC. So they definitely do need to work on their ecosystem. So yeah, let me know your general thoughts on ETC. Are you buying? Are you selling? What are you kind of waiting for? Or are you just in it for the long haul? I know I've mentioned this quite some time ago, but I did originally get in at $44. So I'm at a pretty deep loss right now, although I didn't really commit too much money. I think it's roughly around $2,000-$3,000. But I'm investing for the long haul, and so I know this is some crazy volatility, but I still do believe in ETC and just cryptocurrency in general. All it'll take is just one or two ETFs just to pick up ETC, or maybe do a basket type of component, and then you should see a lot of this price start to stabilize and maybe move back to kind of the $20 range. But for right now, it does look like things are going to get much worse. Let me know your thoughts on ETC. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.